Hey, how are you? It's Mary Vick. No, you're going to quit your business. Today, what we're going to talk about is, oh my God, are you going to quit your business? And I'll give it a second or two. I'm having all my water. And this came up because I recently had a discussion. Hey, Cricket. I recently had a discussion with four separate women who were in the throes of wanting to quit their business. And I thought, oh my God, it's an epidemic. What's going on? Did Trump do something? Is it that Mercury thing? Is it some full moon? And I thought, I wonder how many of you out there have this same thought where we want to quit our businesses sometimes because it's such a part of who we are and our self-identity, even when we don't want it to be. So today what I'm going to talk about are a couple different ways when you are in that place of wanting to quit your business, how to not quit your business, or if you need permission from me, here you go, quit your business. Quit. So we're going to talk a little bit about what to do instead. I'm going to give you a couple tips on some system stuff, right? And remember, systems are sexy. You want a big, bold life in biz, you better have some good systems. And really examine what the process is when you are ready to quit your business. So let me get to first telling you a little bit about these women. And they were all different in different industries. And that was a big aha moment. So one was an interior designer, one was a consultant, one is more in the corporate consulting kind of arena, and one just had a small business where she just worked one-on-one with people. And we were sitting down, hey, how's it going? What are you doing? How's work? How's business? Having a cup of tea, all that kind of thing. And they said, and you could just see it on their face, right? Right? You can just see it on their faces when they're tired or weary. I say it's like you're weary. I can just feel the heavy of it. And I said, well, what's going on? And she, meaning all of them, said, sometimes I just want to quit. And I thought, woof, how many of us have that moment? So for those of you who are watching live, great, give me a thumbs up or like, hell yes, I felt like quitting. And for those of you who are watching the replay, thank you. And how many of you are feeling that same way? But then again, sometimes we don't even want to admit that out loud. So private message me and be like, heck yes, Mary, I totally have felt like this before. And, I think part of this is when we were, thanks for that thumbs up, part of this as solopreneurs or small business owners, a couple things happen. Number one, we can be so wrapped up in the identity of our business because we are the face of our business. And therefore, if someone says no, I don't care how good you are. Nobody likes a no. Although, we can talk about how to shift that in your mindset and how a no is really good because you don't want a bunch of clients that will not serve you and you may not be able to serve. But sometimes when you feel like you've given it your all, or maybe you had a big launch or you had a great sales call, and you two were jiving, and maybe they said yes, and even they recanted, and then they said no. And it's like, one time I had 35 no's in a row. 35, God. And sometimes I have to remember that in the moments that I want to quit. Sometimes right before something big happens, we have those lulls or those challenges. Because isn't it true that, owning your own business is the best personal development course on the planet? And thank God we make money at it. And if you're not making money, then we need to talk. And so as I was having this conversation with the women, I realized, so I started asking them questions. Well, what does that look like? Why do you want to quit? What have you been doing lately? As the creator of the Big Bold Life and Biz Plan, I work with women to make sure that they know what they want, Meaning, like, what do you really want? How do you design your life and build that business around it? How much is that going to cost? We look at all the like practicality, the money part, how you're going to value your services, how you're going to price it. What does that look like? And I'll be doing a couple Facebook Lives coming up. Actually, I have it slated. I'm going to talk about the 5 ways to do marketing. I believe that we need to have 5 different ways to have client attraction, and that's one of the systems. But if we don't have 5 different ways, and with all the stuff with Facebook, right? And if you've built your entire business on Facebook and God forbid something happens to it, and who knows, remember MySpace? No. What are you going to do? Pricing and how to value what you do. We're going to talk about that another day. But today, these were the questions that I was asking them. Well, tell me about your marketing. What's different? What have you done before? And some of them said they've been doing the same thing and they're just not getting the results. Others had said they were trying some new things. And so I have a confession to make. I have been trying some new marketing lately, and there's a big part of me that feels like, oh my God, I want to quit. I want to quit. I want to quit doing this kind of new methodology, and I will share it with you in about 3 or 4 weeks. I'm going to get a little more traction under my belt so I can come to you with the numbers and be very concrete, because, you know, I want to make sure that I have mastered something before I teach it and be able to give you the ABCs of it. And everybody likes numbers, right? Everybody wants to know how much money you make, and I'm fine sharing that. But I have to say, when they were talking, I was feeling like, shit, I know, I want to quit sometimes. Where's the lottery? So then I had to step back and start looking at what's my thinking around this. So 1 is, what is the thinking about it? And 2 is, what's really working on my systems? What am I doing that is not working? And can I remove the emotion of it? And get into logic and analyze it. So I'm going to share a couple tips with you right now, and I've got to pull this up so it's in front of me. So before you quit, I want you to think about these things. First of all, when was the last time you, number 1, so these are your bold action steps. You can write this down, or I'll put a link in here. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hey, Rochelle, how are you? Nice to see you. So number 1, before you quit, I want you to go through these steps to analyze, because since we've all felt like this, remember, there's signs. So if the sign is, I want to quit, something's off. Again, if you need permission right now, quit. You know, before I started my business, and I'll do this real quick. Before I started my business, I know maybe some of you have heard and some of you have not, but so real quick. So I worked with this guy named Cliff Anderson, and the only reason I'm saying his name out loud because I know there's no way he would ever see this. Anyhow, and he was back east. So every single day he would come back from lunch with like the sauce du jour. And I was like, Jesus, this guy is in charge of my financial future. This guy tells me when to go to the bathroom. This guy is the one that says, yes, you can have off, or no, you can't have off, or here's your $1.50 an hour raise, or whatever. And I thought, I don't want to have anyone be in charge of my financial future. And my God, you know, I could preach to you about this. Women, you must be in charge of your financial future. You owning your own business is the best way for you to be self-reliant. And I'm not going to go into all the statistics about women when we're old and all that kind of stuff. And when you get a divorce, the man's, the level of living goes up, women's goes down, all of this, because that's for another Facebook Live. But I realized I don't want that. I don't want someone in charge. And so that's part of my personal why. I have a lot of whys, and I think we all need to have a lot of whys. But when I feel like, shit, I'm going to quit. And yes, I'm married, but I mean, something could happen. I'm not getting a divorce, but you know, the way John drives, Jesus. I hope this isn't foreshadowing, but you have to remember this, do this for you, not just for your financial future, but for yourself. So this very first step in your bold steps today, your bold action steps is, when is the last time you removed yourself from your business? When was the last time you stepped away from your business? When was the last time you just got some space? And I know it's hard to do, especially because if you're not working, you're not making money. But the more you're churning and burning and hustling and face down, and let me tell you, we all know it. We get resentful, we get bitchy. It feels like a chore. It's into that hustle phase. Our adrenals burn out. We're tired, and we're not serving our clients anyhow. So take a damn day off or get away for a few days. Recently, I went to Las Vegas. I saw my dad. It was nice to step away a little bit. Actually, I just got back from having a facial. That's why my face is kind of, I only have a little makeup on. But sometimes we need to get quiet. Hi, Maria. We need to get quiet. That's what we're not good at. Most of you are like go-getters, and I love you for that. And I'm the same way. I'm bold. I'm brave. But we have to remove ourselves sometimes. We have to allow the quiet to happen. Because in those moments of quiet, good stuff percolates. So when I was away this weekend with my dad, you know what I did? This is crazy. Okay, get ready. Get ready. This is crazy. I read a novel in 24 hours. So, do you realize, hey Desiree, do you realize the last time I read a book that wasn't my little Barnes and Noble in my house on anything self-development and business related? I don't even know. It was like last summer. But when that quiet comes, we need to have that to rejuvenate. And then we have some other good ideas. Then we can come back fresh. When's the last time you were fresh, girl? Because I know some of you are sitting in those stinky yoga pants. Those aren't fresh. But getting quiet. So number one, plan a day. So right now, pull up your calendar and put a day in there. When I work with clients one-on-one, we start with a day. We start with a chunk of time. Why? Because most of you have not taken the time then, after you've had a day to yourself, to get rejuvenated, and then come in and have a day to actually look at your business. And part of that process, and I'm going to talk to you about systems now. Remember, systems are sexy. Systems are sexy. I know we hate systems because we're like the doer, giver of client stuff, but we need to have systems. So I teach that we need 6 different systems. 6 different systems in our business, and much of that is automated. So many of you I know are not automating your business effectively, and some of it's just small tweaks. Some of it's very simple, but you're doing follow-up and client acquisition and all these different systems that a lot of that could be automated. And so one of those systems is client acquisition. Again, I'm going to do some other trainings on this, 5 different ways to market. So part of the system of client acquisition is 5 different ways to market. Client acquisition also is pricing, etc. So let's look at that. One of your systems for client acquisition, let's just look at it simply from the marketing standpoint. Once you've put somebody in your sales funnel. So now let's talk about maybe one of the ways that you've done this is speaking. What's the system that you have, to even get a speaking gig, right? Do you have a process? Do you have a speaker page? All these little pieces. Do you have a script? I have a script if you need a script. Do you have a script to get yourself booked? Do you have a way, once you're there and you're speaking, to make sure that you are having a way to grab people's information so that then you can put them in the rest of your sales funnel to maybe do a follow-up call, or if you have a product, and every single one of you, actually every single one of you, pretty much, I'm looking at you who's here, can have this kind of system. It doesn't have to be that you're a speaker. It could just be maybe you're selling a different type of product, or you have an event and there's multiple events. Hey, Kate. So that is one of the client acquisition systems. So I want you to think about this. You've done your marketing, and we'll talk about that next time, but one of the things is, one of the 5 I'm going to teach you is about speaking. But so if I'm going to go speak, for example, I have a big speaking gig coming up next month, 150 people. Woo-hoo. So if I'm in front of all of these people, I don't want to just stand up there. Even though I'm good. Hey, how's it going? I want to be able to obtain their information and then follow through with them. How many of you, hey, by like, heck yes, 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 a thumbs up. How many of you are masterful at your follow-up? Because that is part of, once you have a client acquisition and they're in that sales funnel, I don't see a lot of hearts here. Once they're in that funnel, follow-up, you know, most people suck at follow-up. And that is one of your pieces. So when I break those down for you, and then in another future Facebook Live, it will be very like 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll give you a little PDF that you can have, real simple. That's going to save you time. So look at your systems. This may be why you want to quit. Let me tell you something. Okay, so one of my clients, she's had all this engagement. She literally has 100, it's like a 103 or something, 105, 100 prospects, 100 potential clients that she has not followed up on. Okay, look, we're working through her stuff here. 103 or something, like 3 or 5. Her price per client, her package that she sells is $3,500. Let's do the math here for follow-up, right? So number one, once she has a conversation with them, there's no follow-up. There's no, you know, system. There's no system in place. Hey, Jason, there's no system in place to follow up with them. First of all, she needs to be following up, either if you're closing the sale right there or scheduling, okay, and this is how this looks. Okay, Mary, I'm really, I understand that you need to talk to your husband or whatever if she hasn't overcome those objections. One of the things I want to make sure right now is that this isn't a stressful decision, because my goal is to help you do X, Y, and Z, because I know you want A, B, and C. So let's go ahead and put something on the calendar within the next 24 hours. And no matter what the answer is, Mary, yes or no, we'll both have closure to it, okay? And then you make sure you book that. So let's say then, what's the process? This is, again, your system. Do you go home, or are you putting them into your calendar right then, sending them that email? Or maybe you have an automated system. I have Infusionsoft. There's lots of other systems out there. Entreport, and I don't even know them all anymore. And you could just go in and click a button, and that person will automatically be moving through your system without you trying to do something like this. And I'm still old school. I still have, oh my goodness, you know, all my follow-up, I still write it out, and then I'll put people into my system. But if you don't have those systems, this is part of what's exhausting to you. So that was part of a little tidbit on client acquisition and that follow-up system. But there's other ways, the client deliverable, et cetera, et cetera. So number 2 of your bold steps before you quit your business is look at your systems. Number 3, after you're done analyzing everything, stop doing what you suck at. Woo! Can I get an amen, a hand? Woo, woo. Stop doing the things that you are crappy at, okay? I want you to adopt this mentality. Number 1 is invest time in getting better at what you're already pretty good at, and farm the rest of that stuff out. Now, I know there's times that you need to learn enough. You know, I mean, I believe we all should be able to run our own businesses, but there's certain things you can ship off and farm out for $5. And actually I'm going to tell you where you can get an intern for $50 a month, $49 a month. I'm going to share that link with you. But it's better to invest time. And say let's do sales, right? I teach sales. I'm happy to teach you sales. We'll definitely do a Facebook Live because I love that communication, that process. But it's better to invest time learning how to become a 9 at sales. If you're at a 7, get to a 9. Then if you're a 3 at something, at writing copy or fixing your website, and you like have zero idea how to do that, and you're investing all this time like learning HTML or some crap like that. No. and you're trying to get there, there's certain things that you have to do, and there's certain things you can farm out. So I'm going to give you, like, one of the examples. I mean, besides having a housekeeper, I know I've preached about this forever. Everybody needs a housekeeper. I'm going to run the numbers with you in a second. But one of the things is, you know, there's a kid that lives down the street from me. That kid knows iMovie better than I do. How many of you have kids or know a kid that knows iMovie or that's on a Mac, whatever, Movie Maker on an HP or something? Like, get them to do something. So get some video out there. Number 4, let's run the numbers. Before you quit, run your numbers. And please stop telling me, hey Rita, please stop telling me that I'm not good at numbers. I have a resource page that I can give you, and I'll put it in the comment section later. You must know your numbers. I'm going to test you right now to see how well you do in numbers. Ready? 1 + 1 is... Okay, put the number in the comment section. What's 1 + 1? It's 2. 1 + 1 is 2. And so there's no reason for you to think that you can't run numbers. So let's look at what that looks like. Let's say for round numbers, you make $100 an hour. And it takes you 25 hours maybe how to build a talk, or 25 hours to just learn how to build a lead page or an opt-in or a freebie giveaway. You know, that's $2,500 that you would be spending. Forget the time involved, but in a sense, that's $2,500 if you had instead 25 clients. What could that look like for you if you hired somebody to do that? If you hired somebody to do that little graphic? You could hire somebody for $10 an hour. You could hire that kid down the street for the time until you build up your team. Or isn't it better that you hand it off to your team? And I was just talking to someone last night, and she was saying, you know, she's hiring people, and it's a challenge. I understand it's difficult to turn things over. I totally get that. Totally get that. All right, so let me give you an example. So when I mastered speaking, you know, speaking live, this helped me increase my rate, or increase my business 450% in a single year. So I invested the time into learning that and mastering that, and I didn't waste a bunch of time on my website on stuff that I am no good at. So get support. Where do you not have support? So some of you, of course, you know I'm a business consultant. This is what I do for a living. Help women make more money, build a big, bold life in biz so that they can have free time and do the thing they love joyously, not in a place where you want to quit. So hire somebody, or at the very least, have an accountability partner. And I mean someone that's on the same level that can run with you, right? I have 2 accountability partners, and I'm in a mastermind with other people who are working to just soar and break through some mental stuff and financial stuff. So don't go it alone. That's when we want to just be like, I quit, when we're all by ourselves sometimes, right? Now, again, I'm giving you permission to quit if you need to. But, so here's the final thought to get you really thinking. So on that piece, and I'm looking over here at my notes, on that piece about doing the things that you invest the time to get better at what you're good at, and stop wasting the time. That's why you're frustrated. That's what is exhausting. Now, back to the systems piece that I'm going to teach you on another training. You do need to get good at systems. You're going to have to do that, at least to put things into place so you will know how to turn them over more effectively. So let me ask you, like, here's some things to get you thinking about, you know, if you wonder, well, what am I good at? Like right now, after we're done, sit down and write 10 things that you're really good at, 10 things that you suck at or that you're not really good at, and score them. And then really do an analyze. How much time could you turn that 7 into a 9? And how much is it worth to you to stop doing the stuff that you're a 3 at? So are you good at writing copy? Maybe you need to actually hire some more people in your home. Maybe get a cook. Maybe get that housekeeper. Your job is to be doing the things that are creating the monetary, you know, the money action and money-making activities, and not the other stuff. Because I know some of you are just rearranging stuff, cleaning out your inbox, rearranging your desk. Now, if you ever need somebody to bounce some ideas off of course, I'm here. So I'm curious, eventually, how many of you are going to quit? Private message me. And I know that these 5 action steps are going to help you. So step away, look at your system, stop doing stuff you suck at, run your numbers, and get a list and get into reality on what you do well and what you don't. So let me tell you about some future, and I'm going to put a link in here so that you can get some of these little helpers. I'm going to go ahead and in the future, we're going to talk about the 5 different ways to do marketing, as what the 6 systems that you need in your business, and we're going to do some other money mindset. So this is Mary Bicknell, and I will see you later. Bye.